Hello, Internet, and welcome to our very first session of Apocrypha, our Apocalypse World style game using the Powered by the Apocalypse system. If I didn't say the word apocalypse enough times in the first 15 seconds of this stream, it is about the apocalypse. I am stoked to be running this game here today for all these awesome people. If you didn't get a chance to, we had our session 0 a couple weeks ago. If you're just tuning in and you don't know what's going on, we already have kind of set up our characters and done everything, gotten the world set up a bit, and this will be our actual first session, like getting into the RP of everything. So if you didn't get a chance to watch all of that, you probably won't be too far behind. I think everybody will sort of introduce themselves a little bit through our RP here. But feel free to go back and make sure you go back and watch that, because it was a lot of fun and kind of talked about the rules in the game and stuff. I'm going to reiterate some of that, especially for not only the players, who most of which have not ever played Apocalypse World before, and I think almost all of which haven't probably played the second edition of the game. So we're all kind of in a new place here. So we're all going to be kind of talking about the rules a lot during the session, probably more than we will as we move forward and get familiar with the system. GameKnights announcements, though, before we get started. Obviously, this is our first session of Apocrypha, so I don't know why that's still on my announcements tab for today. We have Lindsay coming up on Wednesday. Lindsay has been playing through Dragon Age Inquisition, and we're playing Overwatch with friends. So come check us out to watch that. We had our second part or third part in our Divinity playthrough series yesterday on Sunday. That'll be going up on YouTube sometime soon, and you can go and watch us play some video games there. Having a lot of fun doing that. On this coming Saturday, we will have our next session of Survivors Complex. If you haven't seen Survivors Complex, you don't know what it is. It's a D&D game that we have been running for quite some time now, and all the episodes for that are up on YouTube, which is linked below. So check that out when you got some free time, a lot of free time. And then next Monday, we will be having our next session of Wild Space. So come watch us and the crazy antics that we get into during that space-filled adventure. I think that's it, except for our giveaway. We are still in the process of doing. We've given away 2 sets of dice at this point for meeting our Twitter and Twitch goals. We still have 1 more set of dice to give away at this point for meeting our YouTube subscriber count, which we are slowly creeping up to, I think, at this point, somewhere in the mid-30s. So get out there. If you're not subscribed to our YouTube, go ahead and do so. And once we hit that goal, we'll be giving away some dice to you guys, so to show you our appreciation for supporting us. And we will have more giveaways like that in the future once we finish off this one. Otherwise, I think that's it as far as announcements go. So I'm going to talk about Apocalypse World here just for just a hot second, and then we're going to go ahead and get started with the game proper. So Apocalypse World, or the Powered by the Apocalypse system, if you're not familiar with it, is a 2d6 system. So much different than Pathfinder or D&D or Cypher, if you've watched us play that. So no d20s, all d6s. It uses a series of 5 stats that each one of the characters has. Whenever they want to do something, they take an action. It's called a move, or they make a move that they get to use one of these stats. They roll 2d6, add the stat. If they meet a 10 or higher, they succeed on it just wildly and basically get to do whatever it was or accomplish whatever they were trying to do to the best extent. If they roll a 7 to 9, sort of mixed result, we get to kind of play around a bit and negotiate a bit as MC and player. And then if they roll 6 or lower, that is a total fail, and that's where I get to have some fun. So that's sort of the gist of the system in its entirety. It's a lot more sort of broad strokes than D&D. If you've watched us play that, if you're familiar with that system, everything happens in very sort of sweeping roles and a lot of role play that is very minimalistically, or that's not a word, very minimally influenced by the actual dice themselves and the mechanics themselves. So the only thing I want to do right now before we get started is there anybody that has any in my players here, the most important people currently watching, do you guys have any questions about the moves or sort of anything you want to clarify before we get started?
I think we talked about session 0 that, or maybe I read this somewhere, that the way we act or RP in this is that we kind of say what we want to do, and it's the MC's job to say what move that is, and it's not us saying, "Hey, I want to do this move." Correct?
Yes.
Okay.
The only time you'll really say I want to use this move if it's something from like your background or your playbook. Okay. I think that's the only time when it's really like I'm going to use this move to try to do something. You still have to describe what you do, but yeah, if you come to me and you say I want to go aggro on this person, I'm going to say, and what do you do, and pull that out from you, because you could describe something to me that you're doing. I might say that's not really going aggro. That's going to be this instead.
Cool.
So
cool.
Yeah, we're gonna tackle everything here in sort of, again, in RP. So it'll be a lot of fun there. The other thing I want to specify too is I think for this session especially, we're going to focus on the basic moves for pretty much everything, so that we don't go down the rabbit hole of trying to use every move that I've put on Roll20 for you guys to use at this point. So focus on those. Think about which ones of those you want to use, and those are what we'll sort of focus on in the beginning here and sort of expand out from there. All right. Anybody else have any questions about the mechanics? All right. So it is now, we are starting here. It is the beginning of the session. So before I do my thing, I know that our resident card holder here has a move that they need to make at the start of each session.
That is true. I roll for wealth, which I will click now. I'll say if your hold is secure and your rule unchallenged at the beginning of the session, which I'm assuming is the state that we're starting with.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
For right now.
All right. Okay. So I will roll plus hard, and I rolled a 10.
All right. What happens on a 10?
On a 10 plus, you have a surplus at hand and available for the needs of the session. And okay. I can read the rest if people are curious what fail states are like, but I'll leave it there for now.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. We can leave it there for now and get to what happens later, leave the mystery. Now you're in surplus now for as far as things are good in Solomon's Hold at this point, and we'll sort of get into that a bit and sort of the state of affairs in what is the name of your hold, or did we come up with one other than just calling it Solomon's Hold?
Let's keep it there for now.
Okay.
I mean, it might just also be called the train yard. That might be that simple.
Okay. Yeah. We'll go with those two, and if you change your mind or you want to add more to that later on, we can.
We call it home, Sean. We call it home.
For now. Okay. Awesome. So we'll get into that later, but essentially things are really good. I think you also have some like surplus things in your sheet, or it might say what you get in surplus or what surplus means to your people.
I don't know.
If it's not a big deal, but I sort of have an idea of what that looks like.
Okay, so I mean, the only place I've ever seen the word surplus is where it talks about how we get gigs or our gigs. It says surplus, one barter, and then want hungry. But that's the only place I've ever seen surplus.
Yeah. We'll get in that later. It's a little bit crunchy. I don't want to go too far down that, and I'll double check. But for now, I think that actually ties in very well with where we kind of are narratively.
Cool.
In which case, we will go ahead and actually begin. Okay. Salt and metal. The bitter taste of rust, of change, decay. Cities ever quiet, entombed in crushing silence, eternally banished from light and air. Rifts to hell spilling boiling water out and up. Ascend. Faster. A blinding flash and the roar of waves in a deafening tin. An endless and imperceptible expanse of writhing waves scattered out in every direction. A desert, satiated. Light refracting off the grasping ocean, piercing your vision like shards of glass. Until darkness. Only a moment. The sun blinks away behind a mountain above, an orphan island drifting aimlessly, staining the reflecting blue expanse of heaven. Ascend to earth that was. Chaos, broken and breaking, the stench of life and permanence. White birds flock in scores of 10 to the four winds. A break, like thunder. Then a second, a rumble, as metal and smoke cut through stone and plant, undying echoes of a world long past. So this first scene, as we sort of roll credits and begin our journey here, is that of a vehicle cutting through the landscape of this drifting island, close to 3/4 of a mile off of the ocean's surface, just hovering through the air along dozens of other fragments surrounding it and drifting aimlessly together and away. The vehicle is large, just bashing through the sparse forest landscape that we see here. This wooded area that's on this large sort of plain or plains of dead and dying grass. Think North Dakota, essentially, which is actually the name of this island, Dakota. As we come down to this vehicle, I would actually like Phoenix. You have a couple of cars that you use. What does your largest sort of transport vehicle look like? Something you would use to make and deliver shipments, if you have something like that. If not,
my largest vehicle is a big old semi truck. When the picture actually loads on my screen, I'll be able to describe it because I found something that looks like what I was going for, but that's not happening apparently. Okay, I'll make do with the thumbnail. So it is a long-nosed cab semi-truck. It's got twin smokestacks. It looks very sort of cobbled together, rough iron plates, some no, there aren't spikes on it, sorry. But rough iron plates, the chassis has been patched up and repaired and damaged again so many times that it's really starting to show. You can see the black smoke billowing out from its smokestacks as it's moving along.
Okay. So we come into this semi trailer truck that is currently busting out onto the sort of open plains of Dakota. Now, Phoenix, you are currently on your sort of monthly or bi-weekly transport gig that you got from Solomon to make a run to Ford's farm to pick up supplies for the hold. You have two people in the car with you. Who do you think's with you right now?
Right now, probably Leopold, because he probably wants to come along for the nice little drive. And because good transport always needs some protection, Tesla.
All right. So you're kind of cutting through the underbrush here and coming out onto the plains. You do have, I assume, Tesla probably sitting in the passenger side seat of the car. Massive sort of sniper rifle kind of tucked between your legs here as you have one arm hanging out the window. Leopold in the back seat, the bench seat of the truck, I assume just sort of bouncing along back there, trying not to bash your head against the ceiling. And I'm going to add one more to that list too. I think Birdie is currently with your group. Birdie, this is actually your first time traveling out to Ford's farm since joining the hold. And that is sort of where we pick up right now with you guys on your way there. Is there anything you wish to play out or conversations you'd like to have?
Phoenix, is it supposed to be making that noise?
It's made that noise for years. I could never get it to stop.
All right, as long as it's normal.
It's normal for this little beast anyway.
Just...
No, it's that grinding you've got to watch out for. That's not normal.
Okay.
He's messing with you, Birdie.
Okay. Just... Yeah. Felt very loud.
Leopold is just kind of turned so that he has everyone in view and is just watching. It's like holding on to one of the inner handholds, but just watching and observing right now.
Right. As you cut through the landscape and begin to sort of veer right past this jagged sort of spire of rock jutting out from the plains that you are currently weaving through, you all see a reflection up ahead as you near the farm, which a few of you have probably been to before. You see this immense metal structure, or a series of metal structures surrounded by a fence that circumvents the facility. These about 40-foot wide metal vats, domed at the top, but cut into, it looks like, at the very sort of precipice of the vats themselves. There's some other like larger buildings, sort of factory warehouses kind of interspaced without. But what this is from sort of a modern viewpoint is you're seeing the rusted remains of this water treatment plant that you are all approaching at a pretty quick pace at this point. As you come up to the plant itself, as the farm, as it's referred to, you can see a couple of people currently sitting out front on what looks to be sort of rusted lawn chairs, one of which has a hunting rifle kind of resting on their legs. You see two of the members of Ford's family. You see Oswald, a younger boy, probably his mid-teens, and Semmeline, both of these being children of Ford. Semmeline's got the rifle in her lap, and she stands up as you approach and slings it over her shoulder, waves you down. As your truck approaches, and probably have the windows down at this point, she actually pulls herself onto the window or up onto the truck and says, "Phoenix, Tesla, it's been a while. How's everything's going back at the train yard?"
You know,
Still ticking along nicely.
same old, same old.
Yeah, heard you. All you folks got in a bit of trouble with, Black Dog back a few weeks ago. How's all that panning out for you?
It's all right. You know, we always in a bit of trouble.
Yeah.
Pretty sure Tesla put that dog down.
That's not what we heard, but well, Paul will tell you a bit more about that one once you get inside. I'll open up the gate for you. You don't mind if I hitch a ride with you in, do you?
No, just hang on tight.
All right. She whistles over to Oswald, who kind of scampers upwards, nearly knocking over his chair, pulls it over off to the side, and walks over, or actually kind of jogs over frantically to the side of the gate, begins to pull on a chain, and the gate itself just sort of raises upward, giving you a path to enter. She hangs on to the inside as your truck comes into gear and lurches forward, the black smoke trailing off behind it. You pull into the to the farm. You're finding the sort of loading bay area, or what once was the loading bay area of the facility, now with a few dozen small kind of ramshackled huts interspaced throughout it. There are a few dozen people living here as all part of Ford's family, and they all see you pulling in, recognizing the truck, and some of them waving, some of them moving off, not really paying much mind to you. And coming out of the building, or one of the huts, is an old, sort of gnarled-looking man with clearly suffering from probably late stage arthritis, big kind of swollen knuckles. Has got the rusted and bent piece of metal he's currently using as a cane, and has a very kind of matted and messy white beard that's currently kind of tied together and tucked into the inside of his shirt, so it's not to kind of hang around. And as your truck comes to a stop, he just stands there about 30 yards away from you, just waiting, chewing on something. Semmeline pats the truck. She says, "Well, best go say hi to Paul then. Come on." She heads over, jumps off the truck and heads over to Ford.
I immediately get out.
I'm gonna hop out the truck.
I'll follow behind.
I will shift position so that I can keep watching, but I'm going to stay in the cab for now.
Okay. As some of you hop out of the truck and Leopold stays in, Ford kind of glances up at you. The weathered old man, sort of leathery skin, deep set wrinkles. Kind of, as you're looking at him, kind of looks like Solomon would in about 100 years. He is just hunched over to the most extreme, sort of animated posture, and as he's leaning on the cane, he looks up at all you. And he says, "You're late."
We're late because the damn roads coming down here are full of rocks.
Well, you should have left earlier.
Actually, no, there's a thing I want to ask about. One of the abilities from my playbook, Reputation, when I meet someone important, I can roll cool, and depending on what I roll, they've heard something about me. Am I allowed to do that here?
Sure. Yeah.
What happens if this goes badly?
Well, it didn't go badly. I rolled an 11. On
Okay,
a 10 plus, I take a +1 forward in dealing with them. I say what they've heard of me, and you as the MC have them respond. And
Okay.
I'm going to say what they heard is from during dealing with the black dog. They at one point had us sort of encircled and trapped and that, and I was able to weave my car just perfectly in between them with less than an inch on either side. Just get out, spin around, and shoot, breaking the circle.
Okay. So you take your +1 forward with Solomon, so make sure you mark that down, because I'll apply your future, or not Solomon, to Ford. That'll apply to your future rolls. Ford kind of looking up at you and looking over at the car, just says, Well, I'd heard you were a better driver than that. Well, at least you'll get everything there safe. You got the cargo for us?
Tesla, do you mind going to fetch it?
You bet.
All right. Tesla, you make your way around to the back. A couple other of Ford's family go to help you. And Ford hobbles his way around, too, to see you unload the cargo, which is about probably 200 pounds of just scrap metal, essentially, being plentiful at your hold. That part of your arrangement with Ford, and it's on a big pallet in the back. You head over and yell at a couple of the other attendants, some of the other family members, come help you unload the scrap metal from the back of the truck. As it lands on the pavement, Ford looks it over and says, well, that'll do. Come on, I got it inside. And he walks off, expecting you to follow.
Come on, Leo, time to get out the truck.
All right. And just open up the door, hop down, just kind of make sure I look as many people as will look at me in the eye before I move and join the rest of the group.
Yeah. So some of them do at first, and then they realize their mistake as they make eye contact with you, and I assume
my eyes are glowing. They're just always glowing.
Yeah, and they go and just kind of quickly look away. A few of them actually kind of they see you, and you can get this immediate sort of sense of revulsion towards you. Probably read it pretty well in their faces as they see you, and you catch the distinct sort of patter of a few of them sort of spitting in your direction as you walk past. A lot of them not really taking kindly to somebody of your talents.
Phoenix, are you
Yeah.
sure Leopold should be coming on all these jobs with us?
It's better than him staying cooped up at Solomon's side all day, night.
No offense, but I think he's freaking people out.
Can't imagine why.
Come on, Leo.
I just smile at all of them, having very plainly heard this, unless you were trying to whisper. Just move on.
He was probably standing right next to me. I was like, "Who is this wise weirdo with us?"
Right behind you.
All right, come
I'm a
on.
man of certain talents, and sometimes my talents are found to be useful on these sorts of missions.
Fair enough.
As the four of you follow behind, Semmeline sort of cuts between all of your group here, sort of cutting her path between you, and she looks you dead in the face, sort of getting really close to you, Birdie, and looking in the face, and you'll be like, "Well, you're new."
Yes, pardon the manners of my friends. I was waiting for them to introduce me. I'm Birdie.
Semmeline.
Hi.
You're the one. You're the one that caused all the trouble, right?
I mean, I
Or
don't
the
like
one
to
that the
think of
trouble
it
was
that
caused
way.
for.
Yeah, well, I guess if you want to think of it that way.
Huh. I don't know. I thought you'd be like glowing or something. Way people were talking about you.
Sorry to disappoint.
Huh.
I just bend people up. That's all.
Well, it's good to meet you. Like I said, we've heard a lot about what's been going down for over at the hold or at the train yard for a while. So I'm excited we got to finally put eyes on you.
All right there, Semmeline. Let's move on.
It's nice to meet you.
Good to meet you too. She looks over you, Tesla, and sort of cuts off to the right, away from your group as you head inside.
Birdie.
And you walk through. Oh, good.
Sorry. Birdie, no offense, but
Yeah.
let's not make your presence too known.
Was I supposed to say something else?
No, it's fine, you know. Be your friendly self, but We'd like to not have too many people knowing where you are.
Should I have a fake name? Okay, I'll try.
At which point you all walk into the hangar doors, or the big bay doors that lead into one of these essentially one of the factory or warehouses that kind of abuts one of these silos. And you're immediately all hit with this stench of sort of this distinct sort of rotting odor as you all look around, and you hear this low kind of cacophonous echo throughout here of 100 bison currently kind of meandering through this massive sort of bay area, all corralled within this structure. And it might actually, would this be the first time that Birdie might have seen something like this? These creatures not being totally common, kind of wandering around. Or how do you think Birdie would react to seeing this massive sort of farmland or farmyard in here?
Is it very green?
No, it's a lot of hay kind of scattered around for the bison. It's actually like a concrete structure.
She just observed quietly. She's trying to be polite and not weird, but memorize everything basically.
Okay. The rest of you have probably seen this before, and how you want to react to this is up to you as well. I don't know if Leo if this might be your first time going, or if this is something that
I think I've been here before. I think I actually try and find out one specific bison among the rest of them that I've communed with before.
Your friend bison. All right. You do look around and kind of get an eye on you. As you're scanning this herd around, one of them does kind of begin to walk straight up to you. This sort of uncanny connection that you probably have forged with this creature through a couple of interactions. Walks straight up to the fence that encompasses these creatures. Sort of sticks its head through it.
I just reach with my prosthetic hand and just start scritching it and say, "Oh, friend, one day you will be very tasty in my belly. But until then, you are a nice bison."
The bison doesn't seem to understand the importance of your words and just continues to sort of munch on the hay that is half hanging out of its mouth. And you hear a voice call back and says, "Boy, what did I tell you about touching them?"
I just look at him, give one more very deliberate scritch of the ear, and then withdraw my hand.
At which point Ford stops and points over at about 5 large sacks, and one looks to be like a cooler, one of the larger sort of party coolers, I guess you could say, the big metal ones, and points over those and says, "Well, there's your shit. Go in and take it."
Is it sort of the usual size shipment that we normally get?
Yeah, it's about the same. It's a couple bags with some dried corn, some others with looks to be some wheat bundles kind of stuffed in there, some barley, and the cooler has probably 100 pounds or so of or a couple 100 pounds of bison in it, packed with salt.
Looks good to me. Come on, everyone, let's get this loaded up.
All right, you all take the crap and throw it in the back of the truck. Ford, coming up to all of you as you finish loading it in, and says, "So, we had some people come around a couple days ago, talking to us about our arrangement.
Want to know if we're still good. This mess with this black dog isn't going to cause us any trouble.
As far as I'm aware, Black Dog are going to be long gone. You shouldn't see any trouble down here.
Well, the people who came around here said they were part of his crew. Offered to make a deal with us. Said Solomon's been good to us. That I've got probably the last scrap of honor that's left in this place. Was a good deal, though. You might want to talk to Solomon about it. Just thought I'd let you know.
Thanks for the word.
You're a good man.
Well, I appreciate the kind words.
Tesla, you're probably hunting some pups soon.
I don't say anything, but I get this roll like sly grin.
Well, best be getting out of here before we start any trouble in.
Yep. Load up and get everyone in the truck.
All right.
I hesitate as long as possible before getting back in the truck.
All right.
Birdie, do you want to sit in the front?
I would really like that, thank you.
I'll let Birdie sit at the front.
Okay. Bertie, you get to sit at the front. You get a little bit of that fresh air from the window. As the truck takes off again across the countryside, back to the north and towards the train yard, which actually at this point, I think our focus sort of leaves the truck as the black smoke plumes off it, and we go hurling through and across this countryside about 10 or so miles to the north, where after kind of crashing through these very dry trees, some of them standing dead, we come to the train yard itself, a sprawling complex of metal and scrap and freight, all stacked to form this nigh impenetrable fortress against the surrounding apocalypse. You've got this large crane in the center of the shipyard, the winch of which is sort of swinging very, very slowly in the late afternoon sun, a little bit of a breeze coming through. And as we zoom over it, you see the at the edge or the other edge of the shipyard, this cliff that descends down all the way to the ocean below, and across this gap, you see the other island to the north that your people call Vakin. And it's here that we are going to see Solomon and Garrett. Now, the two of you are currently together right now. What do you think you're doing?
I think I don't know who I can yell at for whoever greenlit Birdie being taken out in this pickup run. That seems like a terrible, terrible choice, and I want to choose someone's ass out. Not out, but I don't know what the expression is.
All right.
I'm not going to.
There is one person in the hold, sort of one of your enforcers, not quite at sort of the captain level, but somebody important nonetheless, named Raven.
All right, so there's someone, Raven, who's responsible for this.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm in full. See, now after my last comment, I don't want to say full dressing down, but like I am like laying into him, real upset. I can't get out of this hole, so Gosh, nothing I'm saying is going well.
You're just making it worse. Keep going.
It's fine. Just double down on it and go.
I know. All right. So yeah. So I'm pissed. I probably throw some glass against a wall, and then kick them out of my train car, my office train car.
All right. What is Solomon's goal here? What is he trying to accomplish? Sort of by is this something specific to this one person that you're trying to accomplish? Or is something sort of a larger message you're trying to send?
I think I'm just trying to I'm probably going to have more of a talk with my lieutenants and captains when they get back, because I feel like they should know better. And they were the ones that are with her right now. Also, secondarily, I don't like that Tesla left, because I'm here with my old buddy Garrett, and he makes me feel really uncomfortable. So like I'm just kind of like angry about the whole situation. I don't think I really have anything to accomplish. I'm probably just irritated. I think probably I don't know. There's not much. I don't think there's anything else I can do now. I'm trying to like keep a little bit of a low profile because I don't want to see Garrett right now until like Tesla gets back or something like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have you make a roll because this sounds a lot like going aggro on someone, and I think kind of what I'm interpreting from this is that what you want is sort of a display of power here, and you want some respect. I think a bit.
Okay.
So go ahead and roll plus hard.
Okay. Is that highlighted? Nope. It's a 6.
All right. So what happens here in this scene is you're chewing out this this kind of say like mid or early 20s kind of small soldier, essentially. Again, one of your enforcers, not someone that has ever really sort of made a name for yourself, or somebody that was on your radar until probably right now. And he's got like kind of greasy black hair, like the wisps of some facial hair, some goatee, or like goatee that he can't quite grow. And as you're laying into him, he kind of snaps back at you a bit with some of your other enforcers in the room, and kind of looks around. I'm going to say Garrett's probably not in there right now, and he just says, "You're the one getting mad at me for letting them go. I'm sorry to say it, boss. You're the ones that let the bikers in here to begin with. Can't trust them as much as Black Dog trusted them. Just saying."
You question me? Or you question my leadership? Where did I find you, boy?
Out in the way, sir.
Hell yes, I did. You're giving me talk back right now? You think that I am managing all these people in this train yard for as long as I have? And that, without knowing what I'm doing?
No, sir. Sorry, sir.
Damn right you're sorry. Now get the hell out of my office.
He quickly sort of snaps his heels and turns and leaves the office. One of your other enforcers, sort of, I'd say probably not quite up to like where Tesla's at and the rest of your lieutenants, but someone pretty close, named Cask. Big sort of bruiser of a fella. Probably stands about, I'd say probably about almost 7 feet tall, and just this hulking sort of monster of a man. Sort of steps up and looks back at Raven as they leave and says,
You want me to send him a message?
No. It's just a fool-ass kid.
probably isn't the time that you want to deal with this, but Garrett's outside.
Christ. All right. Send him on in.
Yes, sir.
He comes out, sees you, Garrett.
He's ready for you.
Did I hear like snippets of that argument?
I'm gonna say you heard yelling.
Mm-hmm.
You know that, and you saw the kid come out. You know that there was this kid done fucked up, but you don't. I'd say you probably didn't hear exactly what happened. They would have.
But I know something like he
Something
probably did something that Solomon didn't like. All right.
Yeah, that's pretty easy context clues.
Cool. He walks into the office and just kind of like leans against the door. He doesn't walk in until Solomon tells him to, because it's not his place, but he's like in the space without being in the space. You actually let him walk out of here alive. You're a nicer man than I am.
Smell better too.
You're cooped up here in your ivory tower. What can you expect?
What can I do for you? Or did I call you in? I can't. What happened?
Did
I
he
call?
me in, or?
It's up to you guys. I don't know you guys can decide.
Okay, I'll call. I've called you in then. We'll go that way.
Right.
Come on in. Have a seat.
All right, I can do that. He walks in and sits down. What can I do for you, boss? And he says boss in that, like, you know, that way. Boss.
Sure. Yeah.
So, Phoenix took the Angel on a drive today. You hear about that?
Yeah, I got word from it. I don't think it's a good idea. I don't like her being out there, especially after everything that happened with Black Dog. He agrees with me too?
He sure does. Well,
Is this the first time she's ever been out of the compound?
as far as I know, not mark my words, it'll be the last time.
Well, that's something we can both agree on. Well, at least I know that you're smarter than everybody else, it seems. You know her potential, you know what that means if anyone else sees her and knows what she can do.
I'm trying to think, why did I call you in here? If you don't know who sent her out, then I assume, maybe I didn't know that, but I don't want you to know that I didn't know that you didn't.
Would I, like, being like the dude who's probably always walking around, would I have heard that who was like, yeah, Birdie can go? What's the worst that can happen?
No, I mean, because you know at this point, Solomon, who's dead, because we've already established that as being Raven. I'm gonna say this is more of an internal thing. So I'm gonna say right now it's probably something that you're a little in the dark about. I was like, who might have green lighted that at this point?
Okay. Well, I expect they'll be back soon enough.
Well, they've been gone for a few hours. Ford's never really been much of a threat to us, but I don't know. You can't trust most people out in the wilds.
No. Ford knows better than turn on me.
See? You need to keep that mindset with everyone you have.
I do.
Good. Maybe this won't happen again.
It better not.
Is there anything I can do for you, though? I know I'm kind of stuck here until they all get back, but I don't like just sitting around waiting for anything to happen.
Well, like you to keep your boys, post them up on the watchtowers. Keep an eye out until they return. Want to make sure that people know that there's still anyone who might be watching, that there's still presence here.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. I'll even send some out just to scour the wastelands, just to make sure that no one's hiding in wait. I don't know. With everything that happened with Black Dog, I don't expect anything, but, you know, if there's one, there's probably a few more that got away.
Also, want to talk to you about something.
Go for it.
Now, I've talked about this with you before, but I want to make sure that your men know the rules about fraternizing with the people of this hold. There's a lot of disease going around, and I can't afford to have y'all getting anything. I want you to keep your men, keep your distance. At all, until this is resolved, until Birdie can sort this out, I need your men to keep themselves away from everyone else.
No offense, but I don't think that's going to be much of a problem with what you can see stepping at your door.
All right. Well, I'll hold you to that.
Yeah, and I'll make sure. As I said, they're pretty well disciplined. If I have to throw someone off the ramparts, maybe that'll send an even bigger message. I don't know, but I don't expect it. How long do you think it's going to take to get all this settled out?
Well, Birdie's just one person, but I've never seen someone do what she can do, so I've got my hopes up for it. Just have to make sure that we can get some more clean water, because I think that's going to be the biggest obstacle in everyone getting well.
All right. Well, when they get back and Tesla's back in and they're all safe behind the walls, maybe I can make a scouting trip, see if I can find any water for everyone.
Sure. If you have any contacts still out there in the waste, anyone holding up any water stores anywhere, we could use any sort of leads we can get at this point.
All right. Well, I'll ask around. I'll ask my crew, see if they know anyone or have seen anyone. There's enough of us that have spent time out there. Maybe someone knows something. So, and I agree. Birdie, excuse me, is only one person, but the little sparrow knows what she's doing. So, we'll get it all figured out.
There's a knock at the door.
Hell. Come on in.
Door cracks open. Walking in, yeah, you probably both know this person. One of your other enforcers, one of your better marksmen, probably second best marksman behind Tesla, Jin, kind of a lithe, pretty tall, lithe, dark-skinned woman, and she steps in and sees what's going on. Says, sorry to bother you, boss. I need to come back.
Sorry, what was that a question?
Sorry,
I didn't hear it.
Sorry to bother you, boss. Should I come back again?
No, come on in, Jen. I think I don't want to kick Kyle out of the scene prematurely.
I don't think there's anything else that Garrett would want. And like seeing this, it's just one of those. Garrett, being the leader of his own people, knows when things are like just internal. And as much as he would love to sit here and like spy, just sitting here is probably not going to be a good idea. So he stands up and he's like, Well, I'll start talking to them. Hopefully this goes better than your last conversation. And he kind of like nods at him and then just walks out.
Okay. Door closes. Jin looks back. Trouble?
Not yet, but keep your eyes open as always.
Got some news. Scouted the gap this morning. Closing faster than we thought.
How long you think?
Couple weeks.
All right, well.
We gotta... I think we get someone across. Got a couple gliders. Took from the gang. Thought we might scout out the area, see what we can do.
I think that's a good idea. Think we can spare anybody?
Anyway, you got in mind? Might be a one-way trip.
Not if it's Tesla. But I don't know. I'll think about that for right now.
Yeah. I had a couple others in mind that might be able to make it fast. Got good eyes. Well, you let me know. I'll wait until you greenlight it.
Thank you, Jen. I'll have an answer for you by the end of the day.
All right. She gives a nod and ducks out of the room. Is there anything that either one of you wanted to play out before the others arrive?
No, I'm good. What about you?
Okay. So I think the next thing that happens there, while I think Solomon kind of stews in his office, and Garrett, you go around to your bikers and sort of lay down the law a bit there. There is a sort of ringing of a bell, usually used to signify when somebody is approaching the compound or the train yard, and the gates open to Phoenix's truck, kind of pulling in at a very quick pace, probably faster than he should safely, and then wheels around into the garage just right inside the main gates, which are opened using the large forklift pulling up some of the storage containers that you guys have, like the freight containers, and then setting it back down, reforming this wall. The rest of you arriving. So I guess whatever you think. So Solomon and Garrett, both of you are very much aware of their arrival. The rest of you are free to depart the truck.
I do so immediately.
Do you think Birdie gets a little bit motion sick?
She doesn't like being in a fast-moving tin can outside of safety.
Yeah, I can understand that. Okay, so you quickly get out of the truck. A few of the people, just like sort of general populace, kind of peeking in through the entry of the garage, seeing what's going on, knowing that there's a shipment here.
I'm gonna go find Solomon.
Okay, you head up towards Solomon.
I'm gonna go with her.
Okay.
Knowing this is probably not gonna go very well.
All right.
I did my job. I'm going for a drink.
Okay.
And Leopold is just gonna, as he dismounts, just kind of run his prosthetic hand kind of lovingly along the cab, and then just wander, I guess sedately is the word I'm looking for, after Tesla and Birdie, just because when he's in the hold and doesn't have other pressing business, Leopold just kind of hovers around Solomon.
Okay. So you kind of follow behind as Birdie goes rushing back, and Tesla behind her. You kind of casually follow behind them. Phoenix, you go off to get a drink in the. I guess I would come up with something here, but you guys have done so much of the hold here that I don't really want to step. Do you guys think you have like a bar or something here that might be?
Yeah. I think there's a train car that's like, like a fancy train car that has like a, one of those bars to it. I think I actually had a picture of it at one point. I don't know if I posted it in Discord, but I think it's one of the nicer, swankier places. There's probably also a couple dive cars if anyone wants to go car hopping. But yeah, so there's it depends on what you want to be. No, we're not doing the 2 flaming doors. I think. Oh man, I'm trying to. I think that for the one, the dive one is just called maybe the caboose.
Okay.
And
fancy one is top of the line because it's also like at the end or something to do with the actual train line.
Oh, see, now I want the dive one to be called end of the line.
Why don't both?
Why don't both?
All right, so we just said the swanky one's gonna be
top of the line.
Top of the line, in line. And I think these are probably these are just there's not like a sign on the outdoors or anything. I don't think. It's just that's just what people refer to them as.
All right.
Maybe top and end.
Top and end. All right. So do you see Phoenix as a top or an end?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean any of this.
I was thinking more of a power. No, I shouldn't go that. Definitely, I'd say Phoenix is more likely to drink at the end of the line.
Okay. All right. So you head off that way. We're gonna play out a scene there. Well, no, we'll do this one first. So Phoenix, you make your way to the end of the line, which I think is probably very poignantly the probably closest car to the cliffside, to the gap, sort of at the very end of this train or this line of cars that sort of forms this compound, and probably to the point where it's just hanging off the edge just a little bit. And it's outside there are a bunch of sort of a little bit of the rougher populace, maybe not so much like intimidating, but just the people that look like they have had the hard life. Probably the ones that have come out from the farthest reaches of the waste. And there are a couple out there that wearing the kind of insignias, the leather biker jackets of the of Garrett's hunting pack. And you kind of slip past a couple of them, make your way in, and I would assume Garrett's probably there, but it seems like a place that he'd probably hang out. And so you come into the bar, and there at the bar is Garrett.
Wow, the phoenix rises again, it seems.
And the Iron Demon just sits here in his little hell.
I know, it sucks. I hate it. Someone had to stay at the fort while all of you were off for having fun.
That weren't... I'm picking up your accent now. That wasn't fun. That was just a nice little day trip. I'll be going out for fun after I've had this. Order a glass of whiskey from the bartender.
You want company? I've got to go out there anyway, so it'd be good to have someone who knows their way around working a machine.
Be nice to have someone to drive with for a change.
We can do that. We gotta find water anyway, so I don't know. You've been out there as much as I have. You got any spots, any place that we can maybe get fresh water for everyone?
There's a place to the east that might be worth checking out, but aside from that, I'm not too sure.
That works.
As you guys are there, there's one patron sort of towards the end of the bar from you, and there's not a lot of people in here right now. About 30-something-ish man. He has sort of close crop brown hair and a bit of like grease smudge on the side of his face. He's kind of leaning over the bar. You almost thought he was asleep when he first came in. He leans back, and you can see he's probably a few into his cups at this point, and he's just sitting there, just sort of tears whelming in his eyes, which is weird for this bar. And he's just kind of muttering to himself. I don't know if either one of you would do anything about this, but you do notice him. I don't think either one of you probably know this person's name, not being probably terribly acquainted with the population. So I don't know if either one of you do anything to that, or you continue there to leave at that point, but you notice him. And I'd say actually he'd probably look up and he'd see Phoenix and sort of push off his chair and go stumbling over towards you, Phoenix. And he pulls up a stool right next to you and he says, You're Phoenix, right?
That's right.
You're pretty close to Solomon, aren't you?
I've talked to him a few times.
Do you know if they've gotten any shipments of, they've gotten any more water in? Or medicine?
Shipment just came in today. Don't know what's in it. Maybe you should go find out.
All right.
I say, hand over my drinks glass now.
Okay. I will find out. Thanks. I'm Ollie, by the way.
Nice to meet you.
He stands up from his chair, kind of staggering a bit, and goes walking out of stumbling out of the train car.
Definitely need to find us some water.
And fast.
Well, after you, good sir.
Let's go. Then I leave.
All right. So you guys leave. Cut over to Birdie, Tesla, and Leopold. As I guess, do you guys just walk straight into Solomon's office, or?
That's rude.
Leopold would, but like the two girls get there and just kind of wait, and Leopold just opens the door and just goes in.
I like that idea, Solomon. You hear a knock at your door, and there's a pause for a moment before the door just flings open, and you see Leo just walk between Birdie and Tesla straight into your office.
Welcome back. Come on in.
Greetings, Solomon, Father. Have things been well in our absence?
That they have, Leopold. Can I get anything to drink?
I'm all right. Thanks, though.
Leopold?
Just a glass of water, thank you.
All right. And I think I have a decanter with like some nice water in it or something like that.
Some nice water. Spring
some nice water that I pour
San Pellegrino.
A little bit.
We raided a Brita factory and just have all the filters. Maybe not. That might be a plot point later.
It's like, why don't you all have a seat? Make yourselves comfortable.
Okay. Solomon, I have a question. When is the next scheduled trip out to Ford's farm?
MC?
I think it's you're probably scheduled to go, I'd assume, probably every 2 or 3 weeks, depending on how your supplies hold up and how things are going.
Well, I mean, that just depends on what kind of scrap that we can pick up on the way, and if things go well, we might be back there in just 2 weeks or so.
Okay. I'd like to send something extra next time we go. Just some of the boric acid salt, if I have your permission to do that.
Is that something I think I can get, or?
Boric acid salt is something that you mine from dry lake beds.
Okay, is that
It's
something I think I can get?
I'm assuming we have some because it's just like we're in an area that's dry.
I think that Birdie would be the only person that knows those words. Maybe not acid or salt, but using those together. I'd say that's probably something that is something that Birdie brought with her, like this knowledge that some of these dry lake beds you're able to go and scavenge this from. I'd say you can get it not without danger, but pretty easily as far as time.
Would you say we have some?
I'd say you probably have a little bit. It's probably something that Birdie might have shown them how to get recently.
Okay.
Well, how much do you think you need?
Well, it's just for Ford. I noticed that his legs were bothering him. He seems to have some late-stage arthritis, so the boric acid salt, I was gonna, if I could go back, I could tell him how to mix it into some drinks, and it should help with symptoms of his arthritis.
Well, I'll see what we can do, Birdie.
I mean, I think
Sure.
it would be a nice gesture, especially because he did say something about people coming by, wanting him to, I don't know. I guess betray you. I don't know.
He
But he
said
stuck
he
with
had been
you,
given a good offer, but that
Yeah.
he has the last scrap of dignity outside the hold. Or not dignity, honor outside the hold. And so he is holding to his word for now.
I think it would be a nice gesture. I don't know. Plus,
Yeah, I think that'd be a real nice gesture. So thank you, Birdie. That's a great suggestion. So, I'm sorry. Who's this person that was talking to Ford? Did we get a name? A description? Did we get what they offered Ford?
oh no, I don't think we did.
It's definitely Black Dog.
It's definitely Black Dog.
Or some
Oh
of
yeah, he
his
did
crew.
say that they were. Yeah.
They said what?
Said some of Black Dog's crew members came around. He didn't give specifics on names or if it was Black Dog himself.
See, that's funny. I thought we wiped them from this mortal coil. Tesla, Leopold, you were there. Was I misinformed?
We thought we did too.
Certainly eradicated the vast majority of them, but as you know, rats are difficult to entirely exterminate.
That they are. But all we have is this individual's word that they're from Black Dog. We have no other proof of it. We don't know what they offered Ford. He said it was a good offer. How can they have anything left? We took everything they had. If it's Black Dog.
I
I'm
don't
sorry,
know.
Solomon, Father. You know that Ford and his kin do not. I am no longer able to use most of my talents in information gathering with them after the last times, so I could not ascertain anything more specific than this.
Well, that's all right, Leopold. I know you try. Well, that is probably nothing to worry about, everyone. I wanted to... Don't trouble yourself. Birdie, how about... I don't know what you would like. What would you like to go to, like, the top and, like, with some vouchers or something like that? Is that something I think that Birdie would like? I mean, it's not necessarily drinking. It's like it could probably some nice food there too.
Birdie likes nice food.
Okay.
Buy some arcade games.
Yeah,
Yay!
and maybe some games and stuff. Like, Leopold, how about you take Birdie with you? And
I mean, I probably should get back to my infirmary. I have been gone for a bit. I should probably check up on people.
I like that. Hard-working gal. I appreciate that.
Shall I go assist her, Solomon, Father?
I don't need help.
No, that's all right, Leopold. I think you're good being right here with me and Tesla right now. Sure. Why don't you run along, Birdie?
Can I just take a second to make sure nothing bad's gonna happen?
Okay.
I'm very scared about what Solomon's mood actually is. Because when he's like, this is nothing to worry about, it felt like a parent being like, I'm not mad.
That sounds to me like you're trying to read a person.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to say roll plus sharp.
Okay. That's an 11.
Oh, buddy. Okay. So your hold is 3.
What does that even mean?
You can. It's actually under the basic moves. If you open up the read a person move, you can spend 1 hold to ask one of those questions. You can do it now, or no. I think this is one you have to do right now. Yeah.
Okay. So I have 3, so I can ask 3 of these questions, basically.
Yes. Yeah. 3 of the 5.
So Solomon.
Yes.
How are you really feeling?
It's complicated.
Should
but
Savannah and I take off our headphones right now?
No, that's fine. I mean, unless Sean thinks it'd be fun.
No, I mean, I like it to be open. You guys are good enough players not to act on it.
Yeah.
So.
I'm pissed, but I think I also I think I got it mostly out earlier today, and I think that's why I laid into Raven, and because the 3 of you, and begrudgingly, even Garrett, you're my most valuable assets, and I don't want to drive you away. I don't want to do anything that would lead you to follow Garrett instead of me. So I want to tread carefully, and I want to be but I was super pissed earlier, but I think I got most of it out on Raven, just to express that, and then I'll be able to have probably a calm but stern discussion. Okay. I think so. I'm trying to think how to disseminate that into a sentence of what you know. I think you probably sense that I'm agitated, but
so you're upset, but it's not directed at Tesla.
It's not specifically directed at her, no.
Okay. So because I'm nervous about Tesla being left here alone with Leopold. What?
They're friends.
I don't believe that at all. What does your character intend to do? I guess I'm just.
Is that the question?
Yeah, that's a question that I can ask.
What do I intend to do?
To do. Right now, I'm very Birdie's very scared that Leopold is going to be utilized in this instance to do something to hurt Tesla. And I'm very scared. I
think it's just going to be a teachable moment. I think I'm just going to have a little talk and see okay, so you heard about someone who was trying to go behind my back and betray me and turn my own people against me, and you had no follow-up questions. I think we're going to have a little talk and we can learn lessons for the next time. I think it'll be nice where we all kind of grow together, that's my plan.
So is it going to be just a nice teaching moment or an aggressive teaching moment?
I think I don't do that.
Okay, great. Do I have to spend all of my hold right now? Can I hold one of these holds?
No, this one says this is while you're interacting with them, spend your hold and ask their. I think this one's specific to this moment because you read him at this moment. So this is one you got to use now or use or lose.
Use or lose. Well, I mean, there's nothing else that I can learn if I'm not worried for Tesla's safety. Leopold. So I will just lose that third one. I don't need it.
Okay. All right. So are you still leaving?
I'm gonna leave.
All right. Birdie leaves.
Was that someone knocking on the door, or was that a?
No, that was me putting down my cup. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Be more specific. I'm gonna do sound effects.
Yeah. So, first of all, just want to let you both know that I really appreciate you all going out and getting that supply run for us and bringing Birdie back home safe. Why did Birdie come along on the trip? Were there a lot of the sick people from our hold over at Ford's for the weekend?
We do have a very nice gilded cage for the birdie here, but birds do like to stretch their wings every now and then.
Maybe you're right. I would like to be consulted next time.
Would you have let her go if we'd asked?
I might have sent more men with you. Let's keep an eye out. Maybe get to Ford's farm before you arrived. Make sure everything's on the up and up.
You don't need more men when you got me.
I ain't worried about you, Tesla. I know you can hold your own. I'm just worried about, things happen. Stray bullets. You can only be so many places at once.
And no offense, Saul, but you can't keep her in here forever. She wants to go, she wants to learn, she wants to see.
I don't want to keep her in forever. I need her to do what she can do, what her abilities are, and take care of our people so they don't all turn belly up.
And that's
otherwise, what are we doing?
That's what she's doing, but if she don't ever see anything but the inside of these walls, what's she gonna learn? How's she gonna find new ways to take care of us? We can't just be putting salt in drinks forever.
I agree with you, Tessa. I do. I just want you to confide in me before you do something like this, so I can help. I can't help you if I don't know what you're doing.
You're right.
Now, this Ford business. He turned me away. That's good. Saves us a little bit of trouble. But why in the hell did neither of you have any follow-up questions about that? You know that we have a lot to protect here. We've got the cars, we've got the guns, we've got the defenses. People want what we have. And I can't protect them from some sort of silent enemy. I need to know everything that's going out there in that wasteland. And when something like this happens, I need you to learn more. Leopold, I need you to press harder. I don't care what anyone says. I need you to press harder next time.
I will be sure to do so.
And Tesla, I need you to be a little more careful. I know that you feel like you don't need to be careful because you can handle anything that comes your way, but I need you to think a little smarter next time. I need both of you to be on top of everything. You're both better than this.
Boss, you know you gotta give me instructions more than once. I only got one good ear to hear you with.
I know, Birdie. Or Tesla. Sorry.
Ford's farm is only 10 or so miles away. If I head out now, I can be there by nightfall and see if I can learn anything further. I know you were planning on sending Phoenix on a water run, but maybe he can drop me off on the way there.
Yeah, how about you hook up with Phoenix? See if you can swing you by Ford's place. Now, be careful, Leopold. Like, we don't have all the allies in the world out there. I don't need you pressed so hard that we push people away. If you can be subtle, be subtle.
I can do subtle.
Can you turn down the eyes?
Just
that-
kind of squint a
that
little,
stop?
and it like kind of dims it a little. And I'm thinking maybe it's not actually glowing all the time, but when the light hits it right, it's certainly more reflective than a normal person's.
Hey, Leopold. And when you go, bring that fucking salt.
Can do.
Just in case things go bad, you have something to say that you're there for.
Of course.
I don't like... sorry, go ahead.
An important thing I did hear. You know he turned him down because he said you'd been good to him.
I feel a butt coming on. I'd really love to hear it.
It's not a but. I just think it's important that you know what was said. And that we keep being good to Ford, and I think he'll keep being good to us.
I like to believe that's true. But in my years, everyone has a breaking point. So, I'd rather not be the one to break them. But if someone's asking for it, Ford's got almost nothing. Other than some supplies, he doesn't have much. So if they're going to him, not sure what their plan is. And unless their plan is only to just deny us resources. And I can't have that. This hold can't have that. And I think Tesla, maybe tomorrow, we'll talk about this tomorrow, see where we're at, but I think it might be a good idea to visit. Do we have other places besides Forest Farm that we visit very regularly?
Yeah, the other sort of hold, or the other like location here, is Longmire. Not really a place that gives you a lot of resources. It's sort of it's probably like the seedy casino of the area. Benefits a lot on people not having what they want, and gives them what they want in the apocalypse. So I'd say it's probably a place you check up on a bit. Probably they do pay some dues to you for protection. You know, the matron of the town, Twist, she kind of has a similar relationship or kind of duty to you that Ford does. Though they just typically they take from your populace and you pay for your protection as a result.
All right. I think tomorrow maybe we'll get Garrett, borrow a few of his men, their bikes, take you, Tesla, out on the road. We'll visit some of these spots, just remind them what we've got. Arm yourself to the teeth. I want them to remember what we've got here in the train yard.
I gotta take the dogs.
They're smelly, but that might be what we need right now. We gotta bark real loud is what I'm saying, Tesla.
Solomon, you know they don't respect me.
Make him respect you. I put you up against any 10 of his men.
I don't need respect from dead men.
Hell no, you don't.
You're asking me to leave them alive.
You don't have to leave them all alive if you don't want to. But don't get carried away. You hear me?
I lean my right ear, which is the real ear, towards him and say again.
Sometimes you just gotta give him a bruising. That just means he loses one man out on the road. That's fine. But don't get carried away, Tesla. I don't need to start any, and you better have a good reason if you start something. It has to be above board. I can't start anything with Garrett right now.
Yes,
But if one of his men gets the shit kicked out of him on the road, all the better.
You got it, boss.
Christ. Well, it's all right. Everything's fine. We got this under control. We just gotta mind our P's, mind our Q's, keep an eye out, stay strong. We'll have this under control. Now, for one, I'm gonna go get a drink. And either one of you are more than welcome to join me if you like, but I'll leave that up to you.
Perhaps one drink, but Phoenix tends to prefer the end of the line, so I think I will partake of the... I tried to think of the super fancy generic word for drinks.
Libation?
Yes, I will go partake of the libations there.
All right. And get on then.
I'll go with you.
All right. And the last thing that happens in this scene, as you guys are trickling out of Solomon's office, you hear some footsteps coming down the hall. Or actually, does your office, is it like in the building of one of the train? Do you think there's like one remaining building, or are you actually in a train car right now?
I think I always pictured a train car, but actually now I think maybe it's like a manager of like a warehouse where they have that like the second floor office that overlooks a very large open thing, that maybe there's like a bazaar with a lot of different houses and stuff like that in there that I probably overlook. So
I like that. So you hear the creaking of the metal as somebody comes down the walkway, the catwalk down from the right. And you see Jin approaching again, kind of locking eyes with Tesla, and then looking over to you, Solomon, and says, "Oh, I heard you're back. Wasn't sure if you're ready to talk now."
I
don't mean to push, but
yeah,
I'd like to move on this tonight.
Tesla, I'd like your input on this. And Leopold, you can move on if you want, if you're not already gone. Or I turn around to like say that to you, and you're already gone. Yeah. like I don't know how you got out.
And Leopold would, just for the record, stop by Birdie's infirmary to pick up the boric acid salt before going to end of the line.
Okay.
How do you spell Vacan or Vacan, or I forget how you said it?
Vacan.
Vacan.
Yes.
All right. Was it Vacan? I forget how you said it.
I don't remember how I said it either.
Vacan,
I think it was Vacan.
Yeah, because I wrote it out like the German town.
Okay. Looks like Vacan's coming a little bit quicker than we expected. Jen here puts it at maybe 2 weeks. Would probably be a good idea for us to have some eyes on the other side, see what's coming our way. Who do you think should take that mission?
You gonna fly him over?
Yeah, we got a couple gliders, right? Is that right, Jen?
Yeah, that's right. We got some in the skirmish. That we can make use of them.
Are there, or do we know that if there's like cliffs over there that they can get enough elevation to fly back if they...
Well, yeah, you know that's how most of Black Dog, they're pretty low tech.
Okay.
So they've been pretty much doing the same thing to get back and forth between the during the seasons.
All right, I will take suggestions from the chat. I see that hand over there. Who do you think can be successful at this, Tesla?
I don't know. I got the best eyes in the place. You want me here, you send Jen.
Jim, you think you got this?
I know I do.
All
It'd be
right.
good to have one other out there, though. Watch my back.
You could
How
take,
would you take? Sorry, Tesla.
you could take Phoenix.
A bit too loud.
Knows
I
how to
think-
navigate, though.
I don't think we're going to be able to get a car across.
Yeah. Phoenix is a little bit better with rubber underneath him. Let's see. How about Raven joins you?
Raven, really?
That little scrawny one?
All right. That's how we showed him the ropes.
I guess he'll fly pretty far.
Hope so. Is that your word, boss man?
Yeah. It's about time Raven learns to fly.
All right. And she turns and heads on down the walkway. That's the perfect line to take a break on, I think. Because I think that's exactly where the commercial break would be in all this. So we'll pick up with the rest with the kind of continuation of this in a second, but I want to go and take a break before it gets too late. So why don't we say 10 minutes? Be right back for the last hour. Cool. All right. Well, we will be right back in 10 minutes, everyone. Welcome back, everyone. Alrighty. I think a couple people pointed out we didn't do character descriptions at the beginning of the session. So we're going to do some brief character descriptions for everybody and get right back into it. So let's start off with everybody's favorite train dad, Solomon.
Howdy. My name's Solomon. I'm running the train yard, which I use in the playbook of the hard holder. I'm an older gentleman. Kind of salt and pepper, more salt lately. Yeah, just kind of probably mid-50s, but still looks tough. Yeah, don't cross me. You wouldn't like it. I hope that was enough.
No, that is plenty. And we'll go with Garrett, the Iron Demon, next.
Garrett is 29 or 30. He's got shoulder length hair, kind of going gray. It's basically pulled up in a tail at all time. He's grizzled. He's scarred. He's got tattoos just down the length of both arms, all over. He's got bright green eyes. Of course, he's Scottish. And he's got like a 5 o'clock rough shadow. And I think the other kind of defining thing is the clothes on the back of his jacket is the symbol of the Lukoi, which is his gang, because I am playing a chopper. And it is a stylized wolf's head with a arrow in its mouth.
All right. And Tesla.
My character's name is Tesla Tacoma. Some people call her a space cowboy. So, just kidding. I'm playing Tesla. I'm playing the gun lugger of the group, if you guys couldn't tell. Tesla is pretty young. She's probably early 20s at best. She's very small, maybe 5'3", maybe pushing 5'4", stands up real tall. She's really thin, and her sniper rifle that she carries on her back is probably about as tall as she is. Yeah, she wears like a reinforced leather jacket and some like cobbled together kind of armor pieces, very like Soul Survivor kind of Fallout 4 style. And I think her most noticeable feature is probably her left side of her head, but her left whole ear is actually like a metal prosthetic, and she's got a lot of like scarring and stuff from a gun blast around it. And just so we're clear, Solomon and Birdie are the only people that actually she has talked to about not being able to hear very well out of that ear, and then Leopold probably knows because he knows stuff.
All right. Go with Phoenix next.
I'm playing Phoenix. If you hadn't guessed by now, I'm the driver. So Phoenix has blonde hair that is slicked back so it doesn't get in his eyes. He has piercing eyes. Some loose stubble around his chin. He doesn't really keep clean shaven. There are also burn scars over the right side of his face and body. Probably about nearing his 30s now, late 20s in age, stands about 5'11". And there's normally an oil or grease patch somewhere on his clothes.
All right. Birdie.
I'm playing Birdie. Birdie's an angel, meaning she's like a medic doctor type. She's very nice. She's kind of tall, like 5'9", 5'10". Basically, she's kind of like a softer face. Like she was born just looking like a really kind person. Like you probably notice her smile before you even notice that both of her arms are like covered in tattoos. Like her shoulders are like feathers to resemble like wings, and then like geometric patterns and stuff. She has very distinct freckles, and that's Birdie.
Okay.
Oh, and long dreads with like thread and stuff in them.
And last but not least, Leopold.
Leopold is a gaunt man, very pale and lanky, somewhere in his 20s. No one really knows, not even him. He wears a suit jacket and suit pants, and that's it. He also has a tie that he wears as a scarf. And Leopold is the brainer, meaning he has weird psychic abilities. He also has a prosthetic right hand, and his eyes are very reflective of light.
All right. That is everyone then. So we will go ahead and jump back to it. So I think you all head to your respective sort of drinking establishments for the evening, whether you're a top or an end. That joke's not going to get old. You
could say enders, so it's not as weird.
Okay, we'll go with that. Enders. So the some of you heading off to the top to drink with I think Solomon and Tesla, and Bertie, you're at your infirmary. Leo, you're heading over to Enders, where I'm
stopping by the infirmary first.
Stop by the infirmary.
Yep.
Okay. So, is there anything? Did you guys want to play that out? Is there any sort of interaction other than just like running in? And okay, so Leo, describe what you do when you reach Bertie's, the car that Bertie uses for her infirmary.
So, just as is Leopold's wont, he just puts an ear to the door briefly, checks to see it won't be too bad if he just enters, and then as quietly as possible opens the door and just tries to silently enter without her noticing.
What is my infirmary like? Do I have patients in there who are bad off? Who are sleeping? Like, is it empty? What's going on there?
Yeah, I'm thinking right now. So
about there?
I would say they probably alternate shifts. So I'd say Deet's probably there, and Hecuba's probably sleeping in her cot, which probably isn't too far away from the infirmary. And as far as your patients right now, you have... How many? Does it specify how many beds you have in your infirmary, or just what the size it is? Okay, we're gonna assume
I have a workspace with life support, drug lab, crew of
yeah. So you probably have like 4 or 5 people in there right now, given the state of things. Okay. Some of them just need fluids, just dehydrated. Maybe had like slight fevers. You do have one that is sedated right now. That is was pretty badly off when you came in. I think this is the first time we're really going to get into this, the disease and the
yes, I want to know.
Through. Yeah. So most of what's going around is sort of your typical lack of hygiene, minor sort of outbreaks of, anything from like syphilis to what's the word I'm looking for? I mean, nothing too serious, stuff that's treatable. There is one disease that you haven't seen before that has popped up in a few places, and it's been controlled, I'd say, at this point, and Solomon can sort of tell me whether this is right. The people that have been affected with this disease starts off sort of like a cold, start running a high fever. Eventually, in the later stages of it, they lose sort of cognitive functions, begin to go a bit rabid. The term for it, essentially what they've been colloquially referred to as in this group, in this hold, are going frother, called frothers, people that get to that stage. They attack, they go feral, and just lash out. The person you have in your bed right now in the one of the cots is probably in the later stages, and they've been sedated. Now, my image of this, and Solomon can this is where you can chime in, is that most of the way that you've been tending to these people at this point has just been a bullet to the head. But that is up to you whether you might. It hasn't been treatable, and it's contagious. So whether you'd exile them or kill them, or what you would do, or you have a pit somewhere you've been throwing them all into.
I mean, we got a real big pit very close by. They can take a drink.
Yeah.
Drink a cool water. But I think so there's a point where they literally just like lose all cognitive function. They get violent and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Then yeah, they take a drink then.
Okay. Best not waste the bullet.
No, yeah, I'm saving bullets.
Yeah. And I would imagine, and again, you guys can fill me on this, maybe you've worked out some sort of arrangement where Birdie was able to sedate somebody that was in these later stages for the hope of maybe figuring out a way to treat or cure them. But that's up to you whether you'd want to take that risk.
I think I would defer to her on that. Like if she says it can be done, I'm trusting her.
Can. It just can't yet.
Okay, so you've got one person in there that's probably strapped to the table that they're on, and heavily sedated at this point.
Okay. Do I know how it's contagious? Like, is it airborne contagious, or we just know that it's spreading somehow?
I'd say that's probably something that you are trying to sort of figure out at this point.
Okay.
We'll say it's happened recently that you've gotten this patient in your infirmary.
Okay, great. So then probably Leopold just stealths in while I'm like at a table, maybe running some like chemistry-esque tests on probably the sedated person's like spittle. I'm trying to see if it's like in the body fluids that it's transferred, or, that sort of a thing. Like I'm doing like this pH tests. And I don't even realize that he's there because like my back is turned. I'm just doing my work.
All right. This is interesting. So what are you trying to accomplish here, Leopold, other than just being creepy?
I mean, it's less that Leopold is intentionally being creepy, other than it's just being like, I'm trying to think how much of this is whether or not he doesn't know, or if he knows and just doesn't care, and like it's actually playing into it somewhat, but it's just what he's used to from being at the compound since a young age, of just going where he wants and just being places.
And I mean, we determined in session 0 that that Birdie is like super uncomfortable around you, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, I think he's still trying to make nice with you, but doesn't quite get why you're so uncomfortable. But
okay, so you're not necessarily trying to do anything right now. You're just coming into the room in your normal fashion.
So I wonder if maybe Deet probably notices that Leopold is there.
Yeah, I'd say what probably happens is Deet's across the room, and she's actually cleaning off some scalpels and cleaning off some of the equipment that she's used today. And as she, sorry,
Hecaba is a she. Deet is a they.
That's right. Sorry, that's right. So they're cleaning off the equipment, and
as they're done with their sterilizing, getting everything ready, they turn around with the tray and suddenly just kind of and drop it onto the ground, and you're just staring at them as they suddenly drop all of the stuff they've been cleaning.
What? Oh, okay.
Pardon me. I will be returning to Ford's farm this evening, and I believe you had said it would be good to bring him some boric acid salts. So I have come to collect those if you have them ready.
Oh, we're gonna. Okay, today. Okay, that's good. Okay. Just give me a minute. Let me get that prepared. Is it a trip that I can go with you? Ooh.
At this point in time, I do not believe Solomon would be pleased with you leaving the train yard. But I will be happy to relay any instructions as to the administration of the salts.
Okay. I can also write it down. I can write it down.
Do we know if Ford can read?
Oh yeah.
How literate are people?
Yeah.
Am
I literate? Do we have paper?
Yeah, I'd say anyone with a sharp of a positive stat can probably read. But yeah, it's not a very widely held skill.
Okay. I don't know if Birdie would be. I don't know. Yeah, she'd probably be cognizant of that. Oh, okay. So I'm just gonna wrap up the Borks. I probably put gloves on them. Assuming I have gloves of some kind. But the Boric salt was basically like a chalky kind of a material, kind of like Tums if they weren't in like tablet form, but like white.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I wrap it up just while talking and like not looking at Leopold and kind of keeping my back to him, just kind of babbling. So it can burn you if you get in contact directly with it. So you should use some sort of like knife, spoon to put it in some water. Definitely wash your hands after using it, even if you're using gloves, because you don't want to get it in your eyes. If it's not diluted, it can be very dangerous, very toxic. It's very, very alkaline. So, but what he needs to do is just get a liter of water and mix a teaspoon into that. Or if he doesn't have a liter's worth of water, just very, very little, mix it in there, drink it every morning before he eats anything. And that should help with his arthritic pain. Did you get all of that?
Yes.
And at this point, I'm like, I finally turn around, like it's ready, and the bag is like in my hands, and I'm like looking at him, but like looking at his shoulder.
And as you had your back turned, Leopold just got a little too uncomfortably close, not like right up in your face, but just is like just getting close enough so that you don't have to stretch out your arms. He's being considerate.
Okay, so like I probably get it ready. I'm like, did you get all of that?
Yep, and just trying to make eye contact with you and being fully aware that you're trying to avoid that. It's just, yes. The salts can burn on skin contact, so you use a knife or a spoon to pour it and mix it in the water. Wash the hands after handling the salt. It is very alkaline. I believe he will know what that is, being of the farming sort. The proper ratio is a teaspoon of the salt with a liter of water, which is to be consumed in the morning before consuming any other food.
Okay. And he can just drink like a cup of it. It's fine. Here.
And just holds up the prosthetic hand because that's not going to burn on contact with it.
Yeah. I'm pleased by that.
And then takes it and just puts it in an inner pocket in the suit jacket and just like very clear, almost in Baymax fashion of that amount of care of just very, and just being very deliberate in like closing the flap on the inside of the jacket and just like patting it. I believe Ford will be very appreciative of this, and it will help us maintain our relationship with him. You have been of great assistance to Solomon this day, Birdie.
Yeah, I mean, I also hope it helps Ford, but yeah.
Yes, that would be beneficial as well.
Okay. Good evening.
Good evening. Then just a beat before turning and leaving.
I look at Deet.
They picking up all the tools off the ground and taking a very deliberately long amount of time to do that to not have to interact with all of this. Stand up.
I'll start washing these again.
It's okay. It's okay.
And then
All right.
after that, Leopold would head to end of the line to find Phoenix.
Okay. So I think here's that. So Solomon and Tesla, you guys are gonna have a drink. You get there and a couple hours pass. Garrett and Phoenix, I know you guys said you were leaving, but we didn't really establish a time frame for that. So we kind of pushed back your time frame here. So it was later in the evening. You guys had a few drinks and were there for a while with your conversations, if that's okay, unless there was something you wanted to do. It's probably close to, I mean, it's been a couple hours after sunset at this point. When Leopold, you show up at Ender's, and I'd say this is probably about the time that it's been about half an hour since Ollie left, and Garrett and Phoenix, you guys have finished your drink and you were getting up to go for a drive, and you run into Leopold as he comes in.
Oh, fancy seeing you here, kid.
Hello there, Phoenix. Just the individual I was in search of.
You want to go for a ride somewhere?
Yes. It would be in our best interests for me to make a return visit to Ford's farm this evening. I have a gift for him, and I will do some more reconnaissance on I will follow up on our conversation from earlier in the day.
By reconnaissance, you mean you may not want to be heard approaching? Because you know my car is real loud.
I think it will be fine if Ford is aware of our approach. It is perhaps others that we may want to attempt to hide from, but it may also not be a bad idea to go with a bit of a show of force.
Garrett, you and your boys interested in showing off?
I mean, we're always ready to take a drive somewhere. What's this on about? What happened at Ford's place?
Our angel has, as you know, she left the nest for the first time since arriving, and has apparently diagnosed Ford with an ailment for which she has provided a balm, which I am to deliver, as a show of good faith in the continuing relationship between Solomon and Ford.
Yeah, that's not really what I was talking about. I was talking about this whole recon thing.
Oh yes. Apparently there have been some of the remainders of the black dogs sniffing around, barking up the wrong trees.
So we're heading out now then.
With all due haste would be good, yes.
Let me talk to some people, let me get them on. Because if they're still alive, they need to be put down as soon as possible.
I'd say it's about at this point that you all hear a real loud bang coming from the front gate that was preceded by the roar of a very loud engine. And you hear a couple screams of panic. Birdie, I think your infirmary is probably closest to this location, being probably closest to Solomon's little his office there, which is in my mind near to the front gate. And you, I guess, does Birdie run outside to investigate, or is she gonna?
I would go to the door at least and just be like, "What?"
Yeah, you look outside just in time to see where a divide between two of the massive freight cars that form the wall have been pushed open outwards, and you see the tail end of Phoenix's semi-trailer, the brake lights as the truck goes roaring off out of the compound.
Am I aware of this? Do we all know about this?
You all hear it at this point.
Wait, that engine sounds familiar.
Yeah, Phoenix, I would say you probably have a sixth sense about that, and probably recognize the that engine. That there aren't too many trucks in this compound that make that noise.
Oh, Dee, you stay here. Lock the door. I'll do the knock. Okay, bye. And then I run out.
I imagine the three of us at end of the line also head over.
I'm gonna basically.
I am running straight for my car. I am following that.
Oh yeah.
Leopold will go along with Phoenix.
I'm gonna run until I see someone else running.
Oh, Garrett is like pulling people that he can find and just like get on your fucking bikes and let's go.
Okay, Tesla and Solomon, what are you guys doing?
Tesla? Oh, we're together, aren't we?
Yeah.
We are.
All right, then I'll say, I'll hear the kerfuffle. Like, Tesla, get Birdie. Make sure that this isn't some kind of ploy to get her. All right, I want you to stick with her. You know, maybe you can go up to the wall, have a look out, see what you can see, but she's not to poke her head out above the walls. She sticks with you.
I'll take her to the nest. I assume I have some very tall sniper's nest somewhere.
Well, we have that. I
Crane.
think we talked about the crate that we lift up with the crane. So you can see for miles from up there. I think we said earlier that the crane was like floating, but maybe I'm trying to think what would be a cool way for you to get in the crate. It's like without taking the time to lift it all the way to the ground. Like, could you just run up the arm of the crane and like?
I probably could.
I'd probably let Birdie. Birdie can stay with me then. She don't have to follow you up there then. But maybe you can take because you can probably shoot for a long ways. Maybe you can like take out a tire or something. Well, a semi that won't do much. I don't know. You could go for a shot of your life and take out the driver. That would be amazing. But I don't know. Whatever you think you can do.
No offense, Saul, but I'll take Birdie up with me.
All right. Make sure she don't fall out of the nest.
She'll be all right. I take off though.
Okay.
Like
So many bird
fast
puns.
Bird and dog puns.
Yeah,
We're like
yeah,
really
all of
going for it.
Yeah. Okay. So I think here's what happens. If there's any more interactions that you want to have, because I think there's a moment here where there's a mass amount of panic and also just this frustration probably from Phoenix and Garrett as you guys are getting everything together, as the debris from everything being crashed forward or kind of pushed forward in this escape by this truck is currently being cleared by a number of enforcers and people around the way, and there's this probably 20-minute period of everyone having to like get everything out of the way so you guys can go for it.
Yeah, can I use my leadership to help this out?
Sure.
So I got this move called leadership, which says when you have to order your gang to advance, regroup, hold position, hold discipline, and put their damn backs into it, roll plus hard. Does it so I can like maybe have them put their damn backs into this process?
Yeah, so you kind of come out there and take charge and start giving. Okay, yeah, no. Yeah, go ahead and make the roll.
Okay. Roll 4.
All right. So
that's a snake eyes, people at home.
Yeah.
All
I think
right.
that's like the second one too you had today.
Yep.
Yeah. So you come out there and you start giving orders and you start barking orders to your crew, to your enforcers here, and they're definitely not as quick on the response time as you would like, and there's a little bit of
sorry. There's text here that I don't know if you want to know.
Sorry.
So
yeah, go ahead.
10 plus, they snap 2, take +1 forward. On a miss, they do it, but you'll hear about it later.
Yeah. Okay, that makes a difference. So they do go and do this. There's a moment of hesitation, I'll say, in this as you're giving these orders, and just a general sort of confusion about why this is happening, what's going wrong. But they do it and they jump to it, and I'll make a note of that. So they start clearing out the debris, with your sort of focusing them to do that. It does go a little bit faster. So Phoenix, Garrett, you guys are getting your car and your gang together to go after this truck. It's as you guys are doing this, somebody, one of the garage workers, one of the people that sort of tends to the vehicles there, he runs out as you guys approach in the middle of all this and says, "God damn it, Ollie." He sees you approaching, Phoenix. He says, "I'm so sorry. He came in there. He was looking for a wrench. Said he had a leaky pipe or something. And next thing I knew, your truck was running and it took off with all the goddamn supplies."
God damn it. First thing I do is go make sure that my car has not been damaged at all.
Yeah, your car's fine. Everyone else's car, all the cars are fine, but yeah, he just took off with your truck.
Let's see, this is faster. Give me 5 minutes.
All right.
What can I do to help you, Phoenix?
You know what? Get in with me. I want to try something dumb.
All right.
I don't know if it would matter after hearing that like Ollie took it and like he took all of the things. Garrett's probably gonna get like 10 of his people, leave the rest at home base, but he's gonna let like 10 of them come with him.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's fair. So so you begin to gather your troops and get your car ready, and just as that last piece of debris is raised out of the way, I think we hear the roar of Phoenix's. Which vehicle is this?
This is my muscle car.
All right. Did you know? Let's see, like model of it. We can paint a picture for us for our brain minds.
If I could get the damn
Brain
picture
pictures.
to open.
Mind palaces.
You're like doing my kinds of descriptions.
Okay, so File Explorer on my laptop is frozen, so I can't actually
That's
open
fine.
anything right now. But it is your sort of, I think, 70 style muscle car with the round headlights, front grille, sort of long nose.
Okay. As the
I think we talked about that it was like a Chevelle.
Yes, it's
all right, kicks up gravel and just goes roaring off through the gap, followed by about a dozen choppers that make their way behind. So we're gonna have our first chase scene of the of the session and of the game, as these vehicles go tearing off through the night in the direction of the fleeing trailer. Tesla, you grab Birdie and begin to run up. Birdie, are you going willingly, or are you resisting, or are you
I'm going willingly.
Okay, you grab Birdie and you go racing up the arm of the crane, up sliding over the roof through the hatch that's on the box that's at the top of the crane, your sort of sniper's nest. There's a hatch there. You kind of go into a power slide, fall down into the nest, landing there. You pull out your rifle, this sort of impossibly long weapon. You go staring out into the night.
I would like to be her spotter.
Okay.
As she's the sniper, I will be the one next to her that does that.
Okay.
I do look at her and say, just keep her head low.
All right.
So what are you doing, Tesla, before we get into the actual vehicles? As I think you get up there a little bit faster.
Can I see through my scope who's driving the truck?
Let's see.
Or the truck?
Yeah.
I think we'll just do this as like a read a sitch move for now. There's some more complicated ones we can get to later on, but we'll do this for right now. So roll plus sharp.
That is one of my highlighted stats.
Nice.
That's an 8.
Okay, so on a 7 and 9, you get to ask one of the questions. So you pull up the read a sitch move. Let's see. So if I'm gonna say, as far as what's going on here and the question that you wanted to ask, I think that's closest to like what my enemy's true position is. You're essentially trying to get a read on where the truck is and trying to get an idea of who the driver is. So I'm thinking the mixed result is here. You can't see based on the position of the truck and its distance, and it's dark. You have no idea who's driving it right now or how many people are in it. But you do see there's no other vehicle accompanying the truck. It is on its own and is tearing through the wooded area outside the complex right now. Yes, Birdie.
I'm also attempting to keep an eye out, is what I was trying to narratively say, or like Overwatch or something. I don't know, one of those things.
Okay.
I don't know which one I'm doing.
Well, let's see. So that's
I guess keep an eye out is what I'm going for.
all right. So it's one of the advanced moves. If you want to do it, we're towards the end of the session. We'll go in and go for it. So I'll give that to you. So you've set yourself up here as sort of a spotter. So yeah, you can roll plus sharp too to keep an eye out there.
Sweet. That's a 6.
Okay. Let's see. On a miss, you hold 1. And during the battle, which we're kind of getting into sort of a road war here, you can spend one of those to ask me a question. So is there something you want to ask me now, or do you want to hold on to it?
I'll hold on to it.
Okay. So let me know when you want to use that. As far as the vehicles now tearing through the forest after this car, it's a very easy path. Doesn't really require much to really figure out where this truck went, because it's just leaving a debris in its wake. And I assume, Tesla, as you are watching this, you're just keeping an eye out right now. You're not firing any shots, or is there anything you're doing at this point?
I'd take a shot through the driver's side window.
Okay.
That's my shit in that truck.
What are you trying to? Are you trying to get the truck to stop, essentially?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I don't want it to. I don't, because it's the big semi, right? Mm-hmm. I don't want to take out one of the tires because I'm afraid it'll flip.
Okay.
So I want to try to take out the person driving it.
This is closest to.
They let off the gas, it'll slow down.
All right. Yeah, you're going aggro. So go ahead and make a roll plus hard.
Okay. That's my other highlighted stat. Pew! That's an 11.
Ooh, man. Okay, so on a 10 plus, they have to choose force your hand and suck it up, or cave and do what you want. So you're trying to get them to stop the truck. So, yeah. So I think what happens here, they really don't want to force your hand at this point in this circumstance. So what's going to happen is you take aim down the scope, and there's this sort of brief moment of sort of calm as you see all the trucks go racing, or the car and the bikes go racing behind this truck, heading towards it, and you take a breath. You aim for the driver's side window. Then you aim up a bit and you fire, and the bullet goes streaking through the canopy of the trees, connects with a low-hanging branch on one of the trees just as the truck begins to pass under it, which cracks, breaks, splinters, and begins to fall down, slamming into the path of the truck, slams on its brakes, cuts the wheel to the left. The truck spins, goes up on half of its tires, so 9 of its tires, and kind of spins for a bit. The trailer kind of fishtailing out, kind of slamming into one of the trees to the right side of the road. probably going to be a little bit of buffing work to do there, but the whole truck comes to a stop just as the Phoenix and your gang, or Phoenix, Garrett and your gang, you guys come rushing up. What are you guys doing as you approach the scene in your vehicles?
I mean, as soon as he's close enough to get to the truck and everything stop, he's pulling Ollie out of the cab. Like he's just ripping it open. Yeah.
All right. So you guys rush over there. You jump out of your car, Phoenix. I think you're first because your truck and Garrett and his crew are coming up behind you, and you rush over to the cab of the truck, pull it open. You see Ollie there. His forehead's bleeding, probably bashed against the window, and you can see kind of a streak on the window as well as you rip him out of the truck. He's just kind of reeling at this point.
If I can, Leopold wants to get out, sort of put an arm in front of Phoenix, but to like stop him from punching him into unconsciousness or anything. He just reaches out with the prosthetic hand and just kind of holds the side of his face, and then I would like to attempt a deep brain scan.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So go ahead and make your roll there, and tell us what I think it's roll plus weird.
Yep. That is a 10. So on a 10 plus hold 3. So let's see. I can ask so many things. Actually, there are 4 things I can ask, and I can pick 3 of them.
All right. So what are the 3 things you would like to ask? Or is this something where you can hold and ask later if you want?
While you're reading them, spend your hold to ask their player questions.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if I can hold them later.
Don't think so. I'll check on that, but right now we'll just go and spend it.
First, it's just what are your character's secret pains?
Okay. You're getting, as you kind of probe into this mind, it's interesting seeing as you pull him out, Phoenix, you shove Ollie against the side of the truck. You're just about to ask a question, just as Leo sort of comes out of nowhere, just fading in from the darkness, and puts a hand on the side of Ollie's face. And at that point, you see Ollie just sort of seize up for a moment. You see a child, a sick child, a son.
Okay. Some of these feel pretty obvious, but for what does your character crave forgiveness, and of whom?
I think at this point, craves forgiveness. You see Solomon. You see Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
As I'm just pulling my gun out of its holster.
Yep. And then the last one. It seems like it's always going to be a fun one to ask. In what ways are your character's mind and soul vulnerable?
I think you get the impression, and from reading them, guilt, that guilt, that sense of impending dread for what they just had to do. That's what's making them the most vulnerable at this point.
Okay. After finding those, I'll sort of pull back and just ask Ollie, were you doing this for someone specific, or were you just trying to help your son?
Says, that's not the music I want. What are you doing? Let's go with that. Says, just him. Please, you should go.
We should.
I'm sorry. I'm real sorry.
What have you done?
They're going to be here soon.
Who are they?
He looks up at you with this sense of dread and guilt. And as he opens his mind to speak, an arrow pierces straight through his skull, sort of pinning him to the back of the truck. And you just see a body just sort of go limp. And you all hear the sounds of crunching and breaking and movement in the forest behind you. Yes. Birdie.
I would like to use my hold now.
Yes.
What's coming?
There is, as you're staring out there in the distance, you see a few lights, and you see them you see all the headlights of the vehicles that are currently caught up in this mess, just about half a mile from the hold. And you see other lights moving towards them. You see, I'm sure guess probably about a dozen gang members, people dressed in black, making their way towards your companions.
So can I ask if they're all headed toward the truckish area, or if some are headed to the hold?
They seem to be all headed towards the truck.
Cool.
I think, can I make a suggestion?
Yep.
Just for a setting thing, I think we've done some wiring in the cage, and someone.
Zip lines?
Well, that's cool, and I'm going to table that. But I think that from the watchtower up there, that someone can basically pull a lever, and it'll have like a train horn, or that kind of like train, like a wooga, kind of like thing go off. And which is kind of obviously a universal sign of warning.
Okay.
Is that cool, MC? Is that
That's
reasonable?
Cool. I like it.
I'm gonna do that. And then I'm going to lean over to Tesla until basically our faces are right next to each other, and kind of point. And so and be like, right there. And I guess I'm directing a PC ally's attention to an enemy.
Okay.
So if she makes a battle move against an enemy, she gets +1 choice to her move.
All right. So Tesla's set up there, and I think we're gonna play out this battle scene here with the your three parties involved. So let's go ahead and do this. So as this dozen or so dark, sort of half camouflaged individuals stealth their way through the night, you all wheel around, seeing the person who fired the crossbow bolt at fired the crossbow bolt at the person you're now holding, the body you're now holding. You wheel around and see the other 10 or so people bearing down in your position right now. What are you guys doing?
I open fire.
I was gonna say I'm shooting one.
All right.
Attempt to make someone's brain melt.
All right, so we're just trading harm then, or you guys are is your purpose here to solely do damage? I mean, you're trying to push them back. What are you guys trying to do here? I guess is your purpose, other than just firing guns.
I don't know about the rest of them, but I'm pretty sure Garrick and his crew are gonna try to kill everybody.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going for kill shots. Reduce numbers. Get out of here.
All right.
We need to get rid of all of them so we can reclaim the semi.
But are you guys just standing there doing it? Are you getting cover?
Yeah,
You're concerned as your doctor.
Leo is going full Naruto and just pulls out knives and starts running towards people, melting brains as he gets close. At least this is what he's going to attempt to do.
All right. So so here's what's going to happen. I guess Garrett, we'll do this one time because Garrett, you have the most people there, so I want to kind of get the positioning there. So you and your men are just standing out in the open and opening fire there.
We're high. Well, we're at the semi, right?
Yes, you are at the semi.
We're taking cover as much as we can behind either the semi or trees because we know they're coming. And are they all around us? Like it's a circle closing in?
Semicircle.
Okay. There are going to be a few on watch out behind us just to make sure no one's flanking. The majority of them are going to be taking cover and trying to shoot and kill the rest of them coming up towards us. So either hiding behind trees, hiding behind bikes, semis, everything.
All right. So what I'm going to have you do here then is we're going to go and seize by force then. So you're going to go ahead and roll plus hard.
Cool. And seize by force. I don't get like a forward help interference or anything?
If somebody wants to help you, they can do that. Right now, I think it's just you're just rolling as your gang.
Gotcha. Well, as my gang, okay, so that's only I get extra harm if I succeed.
It's still the same roll, but it's just it determines what the damage is.
10 succeeds.
Okay, so you get to choose 3 from the list. So you can inflict terrible harm, suffer little harm, take definite and undeniable control of it. Impress, dismay, frighten your enemy. Those are 4 choices. You can pick 3.
Let's see. I can pick 3. Inflict terrible harm.
Okay.
And I have to pick all 3?
I mean, there's no reason not to.
Okay, well, no, I didn't know if it was in the rules that it's like you have to pick all of them or how that works. So yeah, inflict terrible harm. We suffer little harm, and I want to take definite and undeniable control of it.
Okay, makes sense. So you fall back to the positions. Your gang falls back, aiming out, or all of them now opening fire at the encroaching gang. So what's the damage of your gang?
Yeah, let's see here. Well, it's +1 harm versus smaller gangs.
It's the same size as yours right now.
Okay, so at this point,
does he benefit from my armory? Or is that just my gang?
Read that off to me.
So your armory is sophisticated and extensive. Your gang gets +1 harm.
Yeah, that's your gang.
Okay, so specifically just mine. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Well, if they're the same size, then I don't really get anything extra except for what I roll.
Yeah, what's the damage though? Because your gang has a damage.
I have to pull up that thing. The Apocalypse World. Because for some reason it didn't save in my sheet.
Okay. We'll go ahead and you figure that out. We'll call Carol and I'll deal the damage to you once you finish. So Phoenix, what are you doing?
Given what was happening, I think given that the gang's just sort of taking control, I'm actually going to try and run up to someone, get him down on the floor with my gun pointed at his head, trying to take a captive.
Nice, yeah, go aggro.
So that is hard.
Yes.
And I don't have any buff to this, so let's hope I roll well. No, that's a 5.
All right. On a miss, be prepared for the worst. I think this is what happens. You go running up to this guy, thinking that you might have caught them off guard. As you charge at him, do you have a weapon out or?
I've got my Magnum out.
You got your Magnum out. You go in to draw your Magnum. He wheels around at you and has a shotgun, and just like instinctively falls back as you rush towards him. Fires off in your direction.
So that is going to be some close damage there. So for harm on that, that's probably going to be... Guy with a shotgun is 3 harm. So you take 3 harm minus whatever armor you've got.
I don't have any armor, so I take the 3.
All right, take 3 harm. As he just unloads, and he just hits you right in the shoulder. Luckily, you're wearing like a leather jacket, which somewhat deflects the blow, but I mean, your arm is messed up at this point. Go ahead and roll me a suffer harm move then. So just roll plus 3. You're wanting low.
Roll.
There's a button on the sheet.
Yeah, there is. I was just clicking it and doing all the thing.
Yeah.
9 succeeds partially.
Yeah, that's, like I said, you were low on that one, so it's better than rolling a 10. So you are going to... All right. So I'm going to say you lose your footing, definitely. So at that point, as you stumble forward, and you fall to the ground. And yeah, so that's the one that I'm choosing there. So you've lost your positioning at that point. Did you figure out, Kyle, what your damage is?
Yeah, plus 4 harm.
Plus 4 harm. Okay. So they're gonna do 4 harm to the opponent gang. You're gonna take
I also have plus 2 armor.
Yes. So your gang takes 3 harm. Minus 1 because you chose to do 1 less, so that's 2 harm. Which I don't remember how much that carry. I think the full amount of that carry, so it's 2 harm carries over to you for that. All right. So you also need to do a harm roll. So roll plus harm suffered.
Oh, there it is. 7.
7. He's partially. So again, that's going to be a couple there. All right. I'm picking another. We'll find out what that is later because we're just going to move on for that. However, 4 harm to their gang, that is not withstandable for the small force that they had. And as you and your men take damage, you probably lose you lose 3 men during that attack. They are able to unload and essentially wipe out the group. I'd say at this point there are 2 guys left out of the 10 that are, and even they are pretty badly wounded at this point. They've taken some shots and your guys have done some serious damage. Leo, is there anything you're doing? Tesla, is there anything you're doing?
You're muted.
I would like to go after the guy who shotgunned Phoenix.
Okay.
And I think I'm just gonna try and rush at him with the knives.
Okay.
Just try and slash him that way.
All right. Yeah, go. Here, this is gonna be a seize by force then. So roll plus harm.
Yeah. It would be smarter for me to use my brain melty, but this is more fun narratively. That's a partial success. That's a 9.
Okay, so you have to choose 2.
Seized by force. I am going to suffer little harm, and I am going to impress, dismay, or frighten the remaining guys, because I'm just going to get up and just like... It's a flourish, and it's just like suddenly half his face is gone.
How much damage do you do with your knives?
2 harm.
2 harm, and that's a pretty significant amount to an NPC. So you do take damage from that. He wheels around to try to take you out as he takes the shot. He fires. You suffer 1 less. You take 2 harm from that.
Okay, and I have 1 armor.
Yeah, so you take 1 harm from that. We'll have you do your roll here for a second, but you rush up with your knives and just begin to stab him in the face, just over and over and over again as he falls to the ground. Just keep stabbing, and the last remaining guy just begins to book it.
All right, so now I click the suffer harm roll.
Yes, you don't do that.
And let's see, 1 harm. That's a 6.
That's good. So you... sorry, guys. Where did that go? Harm and healing. It is gone. So 6, you are... I can choose... No, I'm just going to have you get the 1 harm, but that's it. So that is... that's good. And Tesla, there's one guy that is currently booking it away.
Well, Solomon will probably have some follow-up questions. I shoot him, and I try to aim for his leg.
Okay.
+1.
Yeah, I'm gonna... This will be a seize by force, but it'll be... You're very intentionally trying not to kill him. So just go ahead and roll plus hard.
And you have +1.
Can I have +1? Which I can put in right here. Beep. That's a 13.
Yeah.
His kneecaps disappear from existence.
His legs disappear from that shot. I'd say his right leg specifically is no longer attached to his body as he connects probably mid-thigh, and there's just this scream that emanates through the darkness that's quickly muffled by his inevitable unconsciousness and just poof, falls to the ground. Not dead yet, might die soon.
We're gonna want to get down there, Birdie.
Are there zip lines? Can I zip line down?
Yeah, we'll say there are badass zip lines that you guys can descend for that. I mean, that would make sense.
I kind of like gape and look at her like, and then I zip line down to try and save this man.
All right.
I don't think it matters the narrative, but just real quick, like while this is going on, I sent out my gang to like man all the walls and make sure this isn't a diversion. And so they're all like checking all directions, armed to the teeth. But that's it. Bye-bye.
Okay. So I think in kind of, because we're hitting that, we're 11 o'clock, I want to finish this up in a good narrative area. So if you guys can bear with me for 5 minutes. So here's what happens here, just to sort of cut to the chase a bit. You have your one hostage, Birdie and Tesla. You guys go rushing out, probably getting on an ATV or something that Solomon has in his garage, and going racing out into the darkness towards the sounds of the dwindling gunfire. Garrett and Phoenix, the two of you, Phoenix, able to get to your feet. You see Leopold there. Is there if there's anything you guys want to play out here quickly, we can go ahead and do that. But
I mean, I would like to try and deep brain scan this guy.
Okay, we'll pick up there with that scene then in the next session. But I think this is how this ends then. So as the fight concludes and you begin to gather supplies, gather your hostage, Birdie, you tend to the wound to make sure this person doesn't die. Leopold,
I also I'm gonna look at Phoenix, make sure he's like okay, like I'm triaging, like I'm gonna get to you.
Yeah. You look over everybody. Everybody here is real rough at this point, and so you got your work cut out for you for the day ahead.
Just like every day.
And as you all are dealing with this mess over here, just north or south of the compound, Solomon, you're back at the compound, sort of surveying the damage, looking at the wall, walking the grounds. Is there anything else specifically you're doing during this time, or?
Probably only just the bastards are on the walls, and then my citizens are like trying to clear up the damage and like try to I guess get the crane that drops the car back and try to get like a new car in line, maybe like with one of my utility vehicles. I don't know which ones I have specifically, but like trying to pull a new thing back in place, like just trying to like get everything set up as quickly as possible.
Okay. It's at that time when you're getting all this stuff together and starting to work on this, and it's hitting so late at this point that you can just see the crest of light over the horizon as the sun is beginning to rise in the early morning. And
one of your enforcers comes rushing up to you, sort of out of breath. And as he catches breath, sort of heaving for a second, he goes, boss, you need to see this.
All right.
He leads you back towards the cliff, towards the edge. And as you approach, you see about 5 or 10 of your enforcers that are currently gathered over there, all staring across the gap, which at this point, the distance between Dakota and Bakken is, I'd probably say, a couple hundred yards at this point, and steadily getting closer. It moves slowly. It's enough of the gap to make it difficult to get across, but you can still sort of spit to the other side if you really wanted to.
Gotcha.
As you walk over there and you look across and you look down to the blue beneath you, you see 5 or so people standing on the other side of the gap. All of them wearing black clothing, each of them with this sort of painted insignia of a red dog skull on the front. And I don't think Solomon would recognize any of them. But as they stand there, you do recognize somebody in the center. And it's Raven, looking beaten to hell. And you see a woman standing next to Raven, kind of got her hand on the back of his neck. And she sees you kind of push through the crowd, and she calls out in your direction, says, "Are you Solomon?"
What do you want?
I don't want anything. Just to give a message. Judgment's coming for you and yours. And she pushes Raven off the cliff. And they fly. And one by one, they all walk back into the darkness of the jungle. She stands there for a moment across, or looking at you. A couple of your enforcers kind of looking at you to see what to do.
Okay. I just pause for a moment, like as kind of watching as Raven kind of like flutters out of view. I don't know who the hell you are, but you just stoked up hell.
She doesn't say anything, but she smiles as she takes a step back into the forest behind her, vanishing from view. And I think that's where we go ahead and call it here today. Good session, everyone.
Yay!
Yay!
Yo!
Yes!
So thank you to Raven for being an NPC in our game.
First blood.
I hope it was everything you wanted.
Bird friend.
Yeah. No, that just worked out really well narratively. So yeah, that was great, everyone. This has been awesome. I can't wait to see where this goes next.
We didn't get along, Raven, but don't think I won't avenge you.
So
no one messes my people.
The only thing we have left to do, and I want to do this quickly, is history. So each person
needs to decide who at this point knows them a little bit better or a little bit less than they did before.
Wait, so we decide who we think knows us better or who we think we know better?
Who you think knows you better.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, as like in character or like meta?
Either.
Okay. Meta, Birdie knows me better, I think, with that
I
role.
was gonna say that. Yeah.
Okay. So, Birdie, you would mark +1 to your history with Solomon.
Okay.
All right. I won't go in order, you guys, and just choose as you think about it.
I'm gonna say Solomon knows me better.
Okay. So Solomon gets +1 with Tesla.
I think Leopold knows me better. Going to my place of work.
Fair.
Listen to me babble.
You showed
Right
up at
now,
my job.
Yeah, man. You know where I work?
I know everything about everyone.
Like
in
trying
this
to be
whole-
nice, but then like watching me like not have it.
Am I allowed to suggest someone who I think I know better? Because I didn't know that Birdie was like incredibly uncomfortable about Leopold until that interaction, and now
Oh, yeah.
I do. So I
Yeah.
wouldn't suggest them pairing off in the future. But
Yeah.
I think- I don't know if I'm allowed to do that.
Honestly.
Okay, so I attempt to add 1 to Birdie, to my history with Birdie. Is that what this is?
You add 1 to your history because Birdie said that you know her better.
Okay, it's not increasing when I.
Oh,
click
because
the
if you
up
hit
button?
4, it resets to.
Yeah. Did you already have 3?
Yep.
Okay, so it resets to 0, and you get an XP.
So do I roll the history, or what is that roll for?
No, rolling for history is just when you guys want to help or interfere with
Gotcha.
something.
Okay, so it's back to 0, and I get XP.
Yes. Showing that your relationship with them has somehow changed. And you guys can decide how that is before next week. I think that leaves who hasn't done one yet.
Garrett and Phoenix.
I don't know. That's a very hard question because I don't know if.
Do I choose only one person? Can Solomon also mark it?
Typically it's only one. Sure, I'll allow it.
Thanks,
As long as it
Sam.
makes narrative sense. Yeah. Okay. And you can choose somebody who knows you worse than before, and they get a negative to their history because you also get XP if you hit -4.
Right.
So it's an
So-
either or is
It's an
it
either.
both?
It's an either or.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know if anyone knows anything more because like the only interactions that I've really had was with Solomon, and I mean,
And Phoenix.
and Phoenix.
Phoenix.
I guess I could say Solomon probably knows me a little bit better because, like, I was perfectly okay and in line with the fact that Birdie should have never gone out. But I don't know if that's something that.
Maybe knows him better, like tactically, like as a leader.
I
Yeah.
think I know. I was thinking that I knew you a little better because, like, I think I learned that you have a little bit more finesse than I thought. Like how you weren't giving me information that you knew. You're trying to get me to admit stuff, and so like I think you were displaying some more guile than I thought that you were capable of.
Okay, yeah, and I very much kind of say, like, at that point, I think that Solomon would know me a little bit better just for the sheer fact that in the same vein of he just always assumes that I'm out to get him, and then when he was like, hey, do you know, like, Birdie left, thinking that Garrett was probably like, yeah, that's fine, like, Birdie has to leave, whatever, instead of his actual reaction of, no, that should have never happened. So, yeah, I think Solomon probably knows me a little bit better.
Okay.
And then I think
And-
Garrett probably knows Leopold a bit better, just because up until now you've probably only ever seen him in like creepy observer mode, and this time you just saw him tear a dude apart.
I could do that.
Okay. I'll come up with some more defined rules for this later, as far as when we can do 1 or 2, but I'll allow it for today. Since this is our first session. And Phoenix?
I was gonna say Birdie. Birdie now knows that Phoenix is a bit of a jerk and will mess with people for fun.
Yep.
I.e. weird grinding noises when changing gear.
Yeah. That's
All
yeah.
right.
Took a ride with you for the first time in a while.
Okay. So I think that's everything. So we got our history done. Unless anybody else can think of, since some people got 2, unless anybody else can quickly think of somebody else that gets 1, we can do 2 and make that our rule.
If we rolled with our highlighted stat, we got XP for that, or
Yes. Every time you rolled with your highlighted stat, you got XP.
So I just did that. Cool. I was just making sure before.
Yeah.
Else.
Anybody else?
Garrett, did you learn anything from Solomon?
Yeah, like
Maybe that I don't have as tight of a grip on my people as I like to think I do.
Yep.
Okay. If that's everyone, then we will go ahead and call the session here for tonight, since we went a little bit late. This was awesome, everyone. I cannot wait to continue this going forward. This is going to be a roller coaster. Got a lot of good setup here. So, just some quick announcements. If you like what you're seeing, you want any credit, want to know where we get our music, where we get our art, where we get our overlays, all of that is below on the Twitch page. If you're watching on YouTube, go to Twitch. You can see everything there. If you want any announcements on giveaways, want to know what we're streaming, everything's on Twitter. Go and check that out. Let's see. Thank you to everyone who subscribes, follows. I don't know if we had any new subscribers or dead.
Also, there's a big old bit battle today.
Yep.
Which we're very appreciative of.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome, guys.
That cup was empty at the start of the stream, and now it's very, very full.
Yeah.
So
Our
thank you
hype cup
to,
overfloweth.
thank you to Kitty Sparkle and Joseph for your epic bit battle. Epic bit battles of SRR.
And you know what? I know that you all already declared a victory or victor between your battle, but I feel like we all won in a way.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dad.
Just living up to the character. Okay, but thank you so much to everyone out there who's active in the chat. We really appreciate it. Check us out on Wednesday for Lynn's Day. Come watch Survivors Complex. Or what time is Lynn's Day? I forgot.
9 Eastern.
9 Eastern, which would be 6 Pacific. So come watch that, and then Survivors Complex at its normal time slot, 5:00 Eastern, 2:00 Pacific, and Wild Space next Monday at this exact time slot, just with us all shuffled around on a different overlay and a couple of different faces, a few less faces, doing space stuff. So that'll be lots of fun. And we will be back in 2 weeks, everyone. I think that is it for now. So I don't have a pithy sign off for this, as awesome as Wonder Worlds was. So I will just say until next time, good game and good night, Internet.
Good night, Internet.
Good night, Internet.
Sweet dreams.